To another video of Papa Genius on urban politics. My name is Stacy J.
Cross 4 Delta.
Truck 1 and Company crossing 4 at Delta.
Frontier 4195, just stop there, please. Stop, truck 1, stop. Stop, truck 1, stop. Stop, truck 1, stop. Delta 2603, go around, runway heading 2000. Jet 646. Jet 646, I see you collide with a vehicle here, just hold position, I know you can't move. Vehicles are responding to you now.
Is the runway closed?
Delta 2603, go around, runway heading 2000.
Heading 2000, go around, Delta 2603.
Your tower.
Truck 2, runway 4 is closed, correct?
Yes, go on to runway 4 now, proceed on runway 4, you have access. Frontier 4195, I got the word that we're going to be closed for a little while. If you want to prepare to return to the ramp, let me know.
Yeah, we got stuff in progress for that, man. That wasn't good to watch.
Yeah, I know I was here. I tried to reach out to my stuff, and we were dealing with an emergency earlier, and I messed up.
No, man, you did the best you could.
This clip not in real time, though. It has been edited for clarity. Those are some of the key details investigators will look at. The controller saying, I messed up, acknowledging they were in the midst of a stressful emergency, a different event, when he approved and then rescinded the allowance of the fire truck to cross the runway that the Air Canada jet was then landing on.
It happened at LaGuardia Airport in New York. This is what we know so far. The aircraft, operated by Jazz Aviation, was landing on the runway last night when it collided with a fire truck. The truck was traveling across the runway to respond to a separate incident after a United Airlines pilot reported an issue with odor, according to the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. The authority says 41 people were taken to hospital. 32 of them were eventually released. However, 9 people remain in hospital and some are in serious condition. Jazz Airlines says there were 72 passengers and 4 crew members on the preliminary passenger list, but we don't have information about the status of all the people on board. The accident happened at around 11:47 p.m. last night. Just moments before the incident, we can hear an audio from an air traffic controller giving the fire truck clearance to cross, then asking it to stop.
Frontier 4195, just stop there, please. Stop, truck 1, stop. Stop, truck 1, stop. Stop, truck 1, stop. Delta 2603, go around, runway heading 2000. Jet 646. Jet 646, I see you collide with a vehicle here, just hold position, I know you can't move.
And although a government shutdown is vital, this is one of the unfortunate effects of having an administration that is not well equipped and does not know how to compromise for the benefit of the people and not for the benefit of investors. This is what happens. We have a lack of staff that are federally funded within our FAA positions, and also a lot of these people are being overworked. They're stressed out. They're making bad calls now. Now, there is one expert that said that the pilot should have questioned when he heard that there was a fire truck taxi getting an okay to go on his runway. He should have said, hey, why are you on my runway? However, in seconds of time, I don't think that he thought about that in that moment. And this is something that is just like out of the unordinary, because our staffing is overworked, they're stressed out, and now it's a catastrophe. Our Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, stated that he can no longer keep us safe. So he made this statement not too long ago, before this catastrophe, this fatal catastrophe even occurred, and he has stated that this government shutdown is going to have dire consequences. Now, the first government shutdown that happened back in 2025, the ending of 2025, trying to prevent the big beautiful bill from being signed in to action, it was put on pause, even though the bill was still signed and approved, and it made it to President Trump's desk, which cut off millions of Americans from insurance, supplemental insurance, food assistance, just like vital social services that are needed, especially during this time where our economy is slumping and these tariff experiments are occurring with Trump. This was not the time to put the big beautiful bill into action. Also, on top of that, child care was cut. And so now the new item on the item that is on the topic of discourse on the Capitol is the SAVE Act. If you don't know anything about the SAVE Act, that is going to challenge a lot of our voting rights. I understand you want to have a standard type of voter ID registration. I get that. However, knowing that the Republican Party has a notorious backlog of proven events in the past where they have used voter fraud. One case in point is the state of Georgia, where President Trump got his first mugshot in Fulton County because of election tampering, and where he tried to provoke Raffensperger, who was the Secretary of State for the state of Georgia, into manipulating the polls and the election ballots that came back in. And so he was charged for that. And 2 women won a lawsuit because when Rudolph Giuliani was representing President Trump during that time, he defamed their character. And so they were able to sue him, and they won. And he had to pay off some of his estate. And he also lost his law license to practice. So now they're wanting to make it harder for Americans to prove their identity every time they go to the polls in the federal elections. Now, I'm not talking about local elections like your mayor or your city commissioner, your school board. No, I'm talking about Senate, Congress, and presidential elections. And also, too, there is another part to this, and that is, if you're a married woman, they're wanting to manipulate the amount of votes that represent your household. So if you're married, they want your husband to determine who your household will vote for. Well, knowing how our social climate is here in the United States, especially where men are primarily the majority, and they also fill a lot of majority of the political roles, more than likely men are going to be more they're going to be more persuaded to elect men, not women. And so we will be not progressing towards a more balanced and equal amount of genders representing us as Americans politically, but we will be declining in that area. Now, as far as the FAA moving forward, also with ICE, they think that having ICE agents who are already showing hostile behavior in the streets Oh, well, let's bring them, Tom Homan. Let's, along with President Trump, let's bring those hostile agents that are undertrained into the airport where people are already on edge because they're worried about missing a flight. FAA workers are having to throw out items of theirs to get through TSA checkouts. Then on top of that, you have terrorists that you have to keep in mind. You have to constantly keep on guard for them coming through our lines. So this is like, this is a mess. It is a mess. And also too, knowing that our airport is for international crossways, we have people who are not illegal aliens or migrants or anything like that, and they're trying to handle international business trips. They're going to be targeted. We already have an issue with South Korea. We already have an issue with Canada in regards to the airport. They were detaining Canadians, our next door neighbors. We already have an issue with South Korea, where we have 300 South Korean workers detained in an ICE facility in Georgia, and now they don't even want to come back to America. For Hyundai, now you want to put ICE agents in there, and this is just a mess. And also too, this is to help to continue on the work that Kristi Noem was doing as Secretary of the Homeland Security, and her Gestapo that she had going on. This is to continue to work until the new Homeland Security Director gets acclimated into his role. So the Gestapo has to continue on with Tom Holland. This is a mess. This is a hot, stinking mess. And on top of that, a war. Boy, I mean, you cannot, these are things that you would have read about in novels, right? In novels, things that, or a good TV series, not our real lives. But here we go, 2026, and we're just in March, people. Let me know what you think. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'd love to hear your comments on this. Thank you so much, and I look forward to you in the next video.